Greetings, everybody. It's Red Hunter. Welcome back to another episode of Divinity Sin, Divinity Original Sin, Enhanced Edition. We're gonna go ahead and get this exploring started, and we're gonna lead with Jace talking because everyone's reactions to Nissa is different. So we're gonna go in here and start exploring. So this is a mortician. Oh, I didn't even realize you were here. I apologize.
You notice something being slipped into your hand. One of Walgraff's notes. It reads,
"Saw you steal. No biggie. I'm a thief, but didn't think a source hunter would pinch."
The rogue keeps his eyes fixed on yours. He's expecting an answer.
You saw that, right? You're good. A source shouldn't have done that. Indeed, it doesn't.
Walgraff's demeanor suggests he is reassured by your answers. He may be an outlaw, but he's clearly uncomfortable with heroic source hunters behaving as such.
That doesn't belong to us, you know.
You're right.
You're right, it doesn't. Sometimes I get a little overzealous while I'm on the job.
Happens to the best of us. More than a...
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks? Or have those infernal statues sent another soul flying to his death? This here's my family business. Yes, there's been a Roberts escorting stiffs into the next life since the foundation of Cyseal itself. They don't write epics about morticians, but I'm proud of my work nonetheless.
What can you tell me about Jake's murder?
Sad story, that. Though if I'm speaking plainly, the sentimental aspect of it all doesn't make much of an impression on an undertaker. Especially not these days, with so many laid low by the orcs and such like. I just concern myself with giving the remains a respectable exit from life. We set him to rest in the northern graveyard. Perhaps he can finally get a little peace.
What about his body?
Didn't I just say we gave it a respectable send-off? Why are you giving me the third degree? Now, if you don't mind, I'm trying to run a business here.
Alright. Log
The
updated.
dead man is nervous as a squirrel. I'm certain he's hiding something.
You may be right. I suspect he has much more than mere skeletons hiding in his closets.
I agree. What did we, Alright. That's right, we're holding our abilities for... Can we close the door? Let's go ahead and read whatever that is. Furthermore, I find it would have been able to gain access to the body without noticing. Of course, you can't just vanish into thin air, even if it could. No one, but as long as no one goes digging up Jake's coffin, I don't see how the crime could ever be traced back to me. What is this? What is this? My friend, you have some explaining to do.
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampage. How do you... Ah, the ledger, is it? Fool was I to leave it in the open. Or perhaps I even looked forward to being found out. Well, as you know, I have my suspects in the matter. What would you like to know?
Why do you suspect the mayor?
Plenty of us shopkeepers entrust the mayor with the spare keys to our businesses, you know. And he's the only person in town with a second copy of the key to the mortuary. He could have used it to sidle in without a peep, if he were so inclined.
Why do you suspect the
Aureus
captain?
himself paid me a visit the night the body was delivered. Came rapping at my door in the frosty morning before the sun had even started peeping, and told me to tell him, and only him, if I noticed anything strange or suspicious about the remains. Can't see why he'd bothered to go through all that trouble, unless he knew something the rest of us don't. I
Alright.
know it sounds strange suspecting the doctor's apprentice of something so ghoulish as this, but there's few in this city could manage to transport a corpse without raising eyebrows. It was she who delivered Jake's body from the inn to the mortuary. And there was something about her that night. Some kind of excitement. Seemed she could barely contain her thoughts. That there was something thrilling about to happen. I can't quite settle it in my mind how a young medical professional would have such a strange reaction to an occasion such as that. And this may or may not have anything to do with the whole rigmarole. But her master, Dr. Theleron, bought an old shack of mine, one overtaken by undead, for an exorbitant price considering what he was getting. I never did figure what he wanted it for, but he sure seemed eager.
Alright, that's just a bit. We'll have to go find that shack. Why do you suspect
I
Esmeralda?
never saw a widow less distraught at the death of her husband, and I've seen hundreds pass through my parlor. It was she who rang my bell just before the body was snatched. Lured me outside claiming she needed air before discussing the funeral arrangements. Some accomplice could have sneaked in and grabbed the remains while I was comforting the oh-so-overcome Esmeralda.
About the bag of gold you received for keeping quiet about Jake's body.
That gold's the only good thing to come out of this blasted affair, and I certainly plan on making some use of it.
Unless you'd like to involve the Legion in the matter, I suggest you hand over that gold immediately. Okay, so we win the game to win the argument, and want to play, so he gets 3 dots, and we get 2 when we win, because his Intimidate skill is better. Yep. He won
Do
that
whatever
argument.
you like. I'll deny it to my last breath, and not you or anyone else can prove otherwise.
There is.
Stop that!
I need that identifying glass.
Assault from the air!
Apparently we're in combat, so that's gonna be a thing, sure.
Shock to the core!
It's not at all what I wanted to do. There's no room to maneuver in here. Ugh.
No glory in this death.
That would be true. No glory indeed. Well, while we're here, we might as well get the rest of the stuff.
Oh, hum.
Alright, let's get everything else. Cup of water. An apple. Some mortician's chest might give us more clues. Let's go ahead and take all of this. Wait, what are you doing? Get off the bed. What else is here? We're gonna pretend that we were never here. So we can start identifying items now, which we're definitely gonna do. Nope. There's some definite points of interest this way. There's a strange cave. There's the graveyard. Legion headquarters. There's some stuff over here we don't know about. Let's go find out what that stuff is.
Did someone leave an oven door
To
open?
leave the city is to venture into danger. Be
Wait
careful,
till I
Sauce
bring
Hunter.
We're not ready to leave the city yet. Can you pick it? Apparently not. Well, we could burn the door down. Oof, this is going to take a while. No, I was gonna...
Flash fire!
Meanwhile, we're in a secluded part of town. Nobody's noticing us do this. Nobody at all.
You are but kindling for my triumphant blaze. Shock to the core.
We're about halfway through the door. Locked doors are suggestions.
I'm never out of my element.
Feel my electric fury.
By the way, did we ever buy any skill books or anything, or not yet? No. Okay. Well then. So I want to see what's here. I also want to find where is the healer's house. We have a lot of suspects. We don't know nearly enough to narrow any of them down. It looks like they all had motive, means, and opportunity. Well, they all had opportunity, at least. That's what the mortician tells us. It's really interesting because, like, we need to find out who benefited the most from the Counselor's death. And we already know that there's humans in league with these, with orcs and stuff. So who's to say that one of the,
Of justice.
one of them is not in line and causing the undead and everything. They may be very well be. We may have a sorcerer in our midst.
Works every time.
You know, it's a little paranoia, but a little paranoia never hurt anybody. Alright, we're almost through. It should be. And that is why locks are useless.
Wargraf spotted something.
Alright. Let's go ahead and slide that back, maybe. We can't. Divine Light skill book. That's definitely a men-at-arms. Painting of a man. There's a broom in a bucket.
Another piece of trash.
I don't know about that. These paintings are worth quite a bit. From what I remember anyway. So where did that painting take us? We'll take the Wheatstone wheel. Oh. This will let us combine items. Oh, this is useful. This will let us like craft and all sorts of things. Alright, this is back to the bridge. Just trying to make sure we go everywhere in town. This one's gonna be a... Is there a door here? It appears to be locked. Are all of these doors locked?
Oh, hum.
You lock on... You can't unlock any of these, huh? Okay. What is
Spotted
over here?
something interesting.
What? There is something over there, yeah, for sure.
It is said, and this I have heard from a ghost who knew Elba, who knew
Alright.
who is said to have known Sigurd himself, that the king had a great thirst for colour.
How do we get in here? Ah. A spare key. Cool. What does this thing unlock? I don't know, something tells me digging up random graves, not a good idea. Unless we have good reason to. Now we know in the graveyard. Hello.
What's taking Tinder for so long?
Anybody? Neither of you cares to plead for his very existence.
Hello, friend.
If one were to reduce the quantity of skull dust by a percentage of 2, perhaps the stability could be increased by as much as 3-fold.
Oh, a source hunter. Imagine that. Quite a bit more petite than the last of your kind I encountered, aren't you? Yes, by nearly 20 centimeters of tibia, as my memory serves.
This dude's a little weird.
No matter. Even if it couldn't spare its heartiest specimen, I'm sure the Order sent the individual with the next highest probability of success. Yeah? Me? Why, I'm more than a little surprised you haven't heard of me. Perhaps I can jog your memory. It was I who cured the Duchess of Arata of her unslakable thirst. A simple pinch of Atropa belladonna in her morning tea. I who discovered that aging itself can be halted by a single application of Cicuta Douglasii on the tongue. Not to mention that it's been my guidance that has permitted my apprentice Evelyn to make quite a name for herself around Sicile of late.
So she's enjoyed some success.
Yes. If that's how we're referring to the secretive use of a revolutionary healing method she refuses to share with her own master. She's in the other room as we speak. Perhaps you can prevail upon her to offer a demonstration.
A revolutionary hearing method. Can you elaborate?
She's gotten hold of a stone, supposedly capable of fantastic feats of healing, but she won't let me take the briefest look at it. But she claims to have gotten the relic from a little northern town, Silverglen by name, and that an abbot there blessed it with the power to heal. Utter rubbish, I say. But with these blasted undead haunting the travel routes, I can hardly march up to Silverglen to learn the truth myself.
Let's discuss your apprentice, Evelyn.
Well, she certainly possesses a critical eye and an exacting manner when it comes to making difficult medical decisions. I expect she'll be a very successful healer in her own right when the time comes. She is learning from the best, after all.
Let me ask you about the affairs around
What
Cecile.
would you like to know?
What do you know about Jake's murder?
The counsellor. Terrible loss, that. Though we were hardly more than acquaintances, I knew him to be a devoted civil servant. From what I can tell, it seems to be a simple case of jealousy turned violent. The affairs of his wife, Esmeralda, were hardly a secret, you know.
What can you tell me about the plague of
I've
undead?
applied myself to that problem for 2 years and still haven't come a step closer to solving it. I declare it an act of the Almighty's, if I believed in such things. Some events, Source Hunter, can be neither controlled nor understood by mere men.
I'll take my leave.
This healing stone. Interesting indeed.
Nothing sets me on edge like inexplicable magic.
That relic of Evelyn's the so-called healing crystal. I've seen one like it before, and by the Patriarch's pockets. It's a relic of Source. One look at that gem will be enough to convince me it's no force of good, but a bloodstone through and through.
Neither of you cares.
A bloodstone, you say? Tell us more. Indeed, I've heard of such a relic, but I've yet to learn any
I've come
details.
across such a stone before. It may be capable of healing, as the good doctor describes, but its origins are as dark as midnight. Bloodstone is so named for a reason, you see. What starts as a pretty gem is corrupted by sick sorcerers who infuse it with the blood of the slain. If that stone is what I suspect, I wouldn't trust Cecile's so-called healers any more than I'd trust a pyromancer on a wooden boat.
Interesting.
So, which of you is more deserving of life? Excuse me? This is a private sick room. Who in the name of the Seven do you think you are barging in here? Out, I say, right this instant.
Tell me about yourself.
Sorry. It's this task. I'm just... Who am I to meddle with life and death this way? I'm an apprentice of the healing arts. Healing! But this decision feels like precisely the opposite. I have but one healing stone, you see, and 2 direly wounded men who need it. I've been racking my brain trying to decide on the best method to settle this grave situation, but perhaps it's better off in the hands of an esteemed source hunter. Surely you are more accustomed to weighing life and death than I.
About your healing stone.
A curious relic indeed. I got it from a kindly abbot, Loic by name, in the northern town of Silverglen. He is of a certain faith, the Immaculates, they call themselves, that espouses the belief that certain stones can heal wounded flesh. I myself was nothing if not skeptical of his claims, but something happened as he handed me the stone. A small cut on my finger instantly healed, leaving no trace of the wound. Needless to say, I was astounded.
Needless to
But
say.
it's strange. The stone is only good for a single use at a time before it reverts to a useless, inert state. It takes time to regain its magical properties, and I guard it cautiously.
Tell me more about the
What would you like
patients.
to know?
Sure.
One of the brave few willing to traverse the trade routes plagued by the undead. A young man, but excellent in matters of business, before he fell victim to an orcish club in the north, that is. Thankfully for him, a cattle trader found him, nearly dead, but not quite so, and brought him here straight away.
I'd like to know more
Quite
about
the
Stephen.
venerable staple of Cecile, Stephen, and recently blessed with his 3rd grandchild. He was leading a crew of builders when a stray beam struck him in the temple. and only a few days shy of his last day of work before retirement, no less. Nearly everyone in Cyseal is familiar with Grinning Stephen, and as you can imagine, he's quite dear to his family.
Alright, I'm ready to make a decision.
I thank you a million times for your help. Who have you decided should receive the healing stone?
Boris's life has just begun. We can't cut it short now. He should receive the stone. That's actually my logic. He's younger. Steven's lived a good life. Boris is younger and has more to contribute to the world, I feel. And he's brave enough to risk the undead to do what he needs to do.
Boris's life has just begun. We can't cut it short now. He should receive the stone.
Yes, Boris deserves to experience all the pleasures of life that Stephen has already enjoyed. Boris it is? Yes, I'll deliver the stone. I'm glad we'll get to save one man. My heart breaks. No, this is highly abnormal. What is this lightning?
Whoa, what the hell is...
What happened? Is this a dream?
I don't think so. That stone, somehow it sent us flying into the stars.
Okay. Where are we? How did we get here?
Terrible, terrible, terrible! It will consume us all.
Hello.
By the quill that lasts a billion words, what's this? 2 Rivellonians here? At the end of space and time? How very, very, very curious.
We were suddenly and mysteriously transported here. Do you know how or why?
Your guess is as good as mine, my newfound comrade. Here I stood upon this tiny vestige of space and time, and there you appeared. Quite good timing, by the by, because the ground here has been fast shrinking beneath my feet. Oh, but I suppose I should make a proper introduction. Zixax the historian at your service. It is my job to record all that was and is and hopefully all that is to be.
Why is this place, as you say, shrinking?
At last, a question I can answer most definitively. I mentioned already that this place is the end of time. If that didn't send your heart into your stomach and your pulse a-flutter, it should have. Time ought naturally to have no end at all. Indeed, I can think of no worse nightmare for a chronicler such as myself. But something totally, utterly terrible has happened.
How can time come to an end?
So don't tell, I always say. So go, peer through yonder looking lens, and feast your soon-to-be terrified eyes on the darkness that is approaching.
You know, I think that imp may be quite mad.
Then we had better appease him and have a look through the looking lens.
Oh, it's Lugia. It's like a dark Lugia. It's like a evil Pokemon.
You looked. You saw. Terrifying, isn't... What's this? The portal. It's... The portal has become active. Fantastic. Astounding. Onward we should go.
We should go, but...
The portal! It's quite sprung to life, just like the long dormant flames that decorate this observatory. After all my waiting and hoping, could it be? You, dear stranger, you must be the key. Something about your presence here is causing the end of time to grow. The true end itself to move further away. Those torches, a light! This portal active once more. It cannot be coincidence.
Can we first discuss what we just witnessed through your looking lens?
See how right you are. There's so much to take in, I'd nearly forgotten. And what you saw has been haunting my mind since I first discovered it. It is the void itself. The dragon that is devouring creation. When I speak of the end of time, this is exactly what I mean. I can't say for sure where it came from, how or why, but I do know this. It's shrinking our future by the second. And if we don't stop it, it will devour the past and present as well.
You believe was somehow connected to this plane?
It's not that I believe, it's that I have seen. Long have I been waiting here, hoping that one day this very portal would ignite. Then, no longer than a few mere moments after you arrive, zap it goes. The Chronicler of Time knows a pattern when he sees one.
What lies beyond this portal?
Though I cannot say for certain, if it is what I believe, then our prayers might well be answered. In fact, every last question that ever plagues your noggin might well be answered, for I believe what lies beyond this portal is nothing other than... But why spoil the mystery? As soon as we leap through, we'll find out for certain.
Through the portal, then.
After you. Oh, what wonders we may find on the other side. You first, but don't dilly-dally. Yes, just as I hoped. There she is. There it is. Come, don't delay.
And he's off.
It seems the imp has spotted exactly who and what he'd hoped to find here.
Wow. Let's go unravel this mystery and then we'll look around a little bit.
Could it be, milady? The weaver of time? Mother of history? Author of all that has ever been?
Indeed, Sir Imp. As surely as you are he who chronicles all that I weave.
Astounding! Unbelievable! I have so many questions for you, so much to ask, so much to say.
You have brought guests, I see. Strange. Very strange guests.
My reaction exactly, milady. It was their arrival here at the end of time that instigated my finding you. But why? Surely you must know.
This is a question better put to our guests themselves. Tell us, how did you arrive upon this plane?
If you are truly the Weaver of Time, I imagine you already know the answer to that. Or it was a stone, a strange stone that zapped us from where we stood in Revelon to this plane among the stars.
A stone. So, it was a stone that caused the great shock of energy that brought you here, and it infused you with new life as well. Is that so?
Exactly so. Have you seen it before?
Not like this, no. What happened to you is unique in all my work. Never had I experienced something so contrary to my nature. To weave something I had not seen, had not expected. Life does not simply spring into existence, you see. But yours has. You appeared before me from the moment you came into contact with that stone. Starstone. I now know it to be called.
But, Madam Weaver, how is it possible? Do you not see all? Have you not woven all that is and could ever be into your tapestry?
Like the stones, your guests are a mystery to me. I see them before me in this world, But their likenesses appeared not upon my tapestry until they revived the stone. Source Hunters. It would seem that yourselves and Starstone are inextricably linked. Why and how, I cannot say. But I do believe that finding more stones will reveal to me who you yourselves truly are.
What is this Starstone exactly? Where does it come from?
Starstone is not what it seems, Source Hunter. Its true nature must be part of a greater secret. A secret lost, even to me. Do you see what violence my work has suffered? What wounds lay upon the tapestry of time?
Mysteries of all time. Gaps in history. Oh, how they've tormented me for eons.
It would appear that Starstone transforms at your touch, granting me new thread by which to mend the tapestry. Thus, it restores time itself.
I see. What the void would shrink, Starstone restores.
Yes. Though I cannot explain why this Starstone is the antidote to the void's ravishment of our realm. If we do not restore time, if we do not discover the true nature of these stones, the void will consume us all.
Alright, if these stones can heal history, we must seek them out.
Indeed you must. Though I may not yet understand why. It seems that you and you alone can unlock the powers within Starstone. Yet we are not the only entities who know these stones to be so much more than pretty gems.
Why, of course, that's what they were doing. I have recorded their doings, you see. Collectors of Starstone, more and more by the day. Now I understand. They'd keep the stones from our reach. They'd prevent the mending of time.
Without these stones, Hunter, there will be no Rivellon. The entire tapestry will crumble. Even this plane will fall victim to the void's insatiable hunger.
That shall never be, milady. As sure as Zix comes before Zax, we will put a stop to it. First we mend the tapestry, then we stop the void. Please, our most mysterious guest, are you ready? Are you willing? Will you hunt out the stones? Will you help us restore what has been lost?
I mean...
Come, I've got something for you if you're
Not but a moment ago, we were hunting Source in Rivellon, and now we're being told that we alone can prevent the end of time by way of some magical stones. What do you make of it?
Or shall we skip it and save you the embarrassment?
We can't deny our reaction to Starstone. There must be something to this, as mad as it may seem.
We can't deny our reaction to Starstone. There must be something to all of this, mad as it may seem.
No matter how improbable, anything is possible. If the Weaver tells the truth, we have some serious work ahead of us.
What'll it be? The glint in your gaze and the set of your brow suggest to me that you've not given up on... No, with you searching out Starstone, but you'll need a way to travel between Rivellon and this homestead, won't you? Who wouldn't want to see what fantastic changes your search will yield? And who knows what the Weaver might discover about you? Luckily, the power of portals is known to you, so I'll let you in on the little secret of how to transport back and forth from the end of time. Just, you know, don't go sharing it around. Never know who we can trust these days. Off you go then. You've Starstone to find, and I've a tapestry to examine. Surely there must be some clue here as to how on earth you're related to the end of time.
The Weaver of Time said our finding a Starstone helps our Weave to...
Does my heart hope to fade in the void? I honestly don't know. But ask her. If she claims it is so, perhaps she knows why.
Before you go, Source Hunter, a final word. Once you return to Rivellon, there will be someone waiting for you. My agent, My eyes and ears upon your work. I hope he'll be able to help you as much as he can. Time, I need hardly remind you, is of the essence.
How welcome you are upon this realm, our most honored guest. I hope you begin to find this place more familiar than it may yet seem. In the ethereal threads of eternity, do I record the deeds of gods and men, of beasts and spectral apparitions. The drift of continents through changing seas, the rise and fall of empires, the shift of every grain of sand on every beach, the fall of every raindrop on every world, the all but imperceptible touch of lovers' hands. This and all I chronicle without fault. Except, it seems, you.
There are more questions I have for you.
And I shall answer, if I can.
If I understand correctly, I'm not at all featured on the canvas of time.
So, your absence. It should be an impossibility, but no matter where I look, you cannot be found. I do not know you, which makes you my one perennial imperfection, a blind spot in the eye of time. But perchance I may be cured of this blindness. Perchance the blemish may be undone, and time can be redeemed.
How can I redeem time if, as you say, I'm not even a part of it?
I think that perhaps you can redeem time, because you create time. Indeed, you have set in motion an event I no longer held possible. Know that no longer I did weave. I sat here at the end of time and watched on as the void frays the fabric of time like a terrified god that fears the offspring of his own creation. But suddenly there was you. You who stirred the life within the stones. These stones, children of stars. They place new ribbons along my fingers like phantoms out of time. New threads emerged, and I began to weave anew. Starstone gives me new strands to braid into the tapestry. And because you give Starstone energy, it seems that you are creating time. These Starstones, please, seek them so that time may yet be mended. Please, for the sake of all that lives and all that loves, seek them so that the void may yet devour itself alone.
Why is this Starstone so important? Why does it react to me and my colleagues alone?
The answers to those questions still elude me. You and Starstone remain the imperfections upon the tapestry. As yet, a hidden answer lies behind this veil of inscrutability, though. For the link between you and the stones reveals that your destinies are intertwined. I believe that Starstones will not lead you to new places of wonder only. No. They will also lead to new knowledge through the restoration of the threads of old.
Let's change the subject. I'll take my leave.
I wonder, do you know more about the void? What it is? What lies at the heart of it?
Oh, we can.
At its heart? Why, nothing, of course. The great absence of all that even the gods cannot comprehend. It eludes us, like infinity, or the finality of tick-tocking time.
Well, that was definitely interesting. It seems like there's more portals. Let's head back. Let's go ahead and go towards the North Gate.
Source Hunters, I welcome you once again to the realm of Rivellon after your travels through the chasms of space. Nice to have found a shelter, wouldn't you agree? Where you can come to no harm. I know the imp historian has told you about his agent on Rivellon, and that agent is I. So now that you know of the alliance between me and Sir Zixzax, let us turn to the business at hand. Starstone.
Let us do so indeed. I greatly value his advice.
And I'll be delighted to give it. Dark webs are being woven around these parts, and it is my firm belief starstones are the flies the sorcerer's spiders are trying to catch. It can therefore hardly be a coincidence that Councillor Jake was a collector of the stones we seek. His foul murder and the plight of dying time must somehow be interconnected. That means the task you have been given remains crucial. Find the assassin that did away with Jake, for you're bound to stumble upon Starstone along the way.
How did you find out Jake was a Starstone collector?
While you were being lectured by our friend the historian and the Grande Dame of Time, I snuck into his house and had a look around. The advantage of being a cat, you know. You go where you please with impunity. And sometimes the lady of the house even rewards you with a slice of fresh herring. That's where I saw them in a cabinet. Mere slivers, but specks of starstones nonetheless. They lay there, silent and innocent, though bloody murder may have been committed in their name.
Alright.
Before you go, here, take this teleporter pyramid. A handy toy indeed that Zixzax asked me to give to you. You'll need the other one too if you want to make use of its powers, but alas, I seem to have misplaced it. Don't worry though. Use this one here and it'll take you straight to its twin. Now that this matter has been settled, hunters, I shall detain you no longer. But rest assured, I'll do my share of hunting too. So if you spot a white cat during your travels, do stop to say hello.
Okay. So who has it? Probably him. I thought one of us had.
Ah, how intolerable it is to think that all the knowledge of the world is being gathered by an imp. A creature that is no more than the result of a demon's bowel movement imbued with the breath of life. And yet I am a tad jealous of that jabbering little jester. To know all. It is a consummation devoutly to be wished.
To know everything is to take away all wonder. No, that aspiration is not mine. Right, so what is life without a little mystery, but a predictable set of hours slipping by now?
Without mystery, life without wonder. What is this pseudo-philosophical flower-child claptrap? The greater one's knowledge, the vaster its extent, the more monumental the questions become that loom on the ever-retreating horizon. Let us learn, Hunter, whether you like it or not.
You call to Ulgraf. He awaits your queries.
Unknown to all time, are you? Leave it to an imp to try to fill our minds with all manner of magical gob. I'll tell you who you are. Source hunters, members of the most esteemed order in Rivellon. Here to find out and grind out every last speck of dark magic in the realm. There, the enigma is solved.
If what he says is true and we are really affecting the task, I certainly want to know more.
What are you? You think I'm... No, comrade. You can keep the honor of being the object of the Space Imp's special interest all to yourself. I just hope this fancy of yours doesn't interfere with your real job, or have you forgotten that little detail already? You're a source hunter first, last, and always, comrade.
Alright. Ah. What's used?
Gods, what is going on here? First I have to shoo away a creeping white tomcat, and now there's a perfect stranger in my bathroom. Get out, will you?
Ha, this is a curious mix-up. No, it'll be quite the story to tell tomorrow. Let's press escape to skip, yeah.
Little mix-up indeed. I don't know what you and that horrible little imp are planning, but leave my bathroom out of it. No, if you please. This room is private. If she soaks in flower stink much longer, deer will smell this lady from a field away. Don't just stand there. I'll save a leg of something good for when she begins to starve. Away with you!
Wolgraff gently starts to shove everyone towards the door. He may be an accomplished thief.
Doing here? Begone!
I'm looking for the other stone, that's what I'm doing.
No, if you please.
That's what I was looking for.
Private.
Nope, let me have that key.
Hey, stop that. Don't just stand there. Go.
Alright.
Tell me, Alistair, have you ever had the fortune of challenging the fabled wizard of Hunter's End?
Ah, hello. I suppose you're here to viciously interrogate me for information I don't have, like our noble Captain Aureus before you.
What do you know about
It's
Jake's
very
murder?
Tragic news. I won't posture and say that the Chancellor and I were anything near allies, but I truly never wished the man harm. I am the Duke of Ferrol, though I suppose my name is in the mouths of enough ruthless gossipers that you've heard of me by now.
A source hunter? I'd like to report some dark magic. Only tainted hearts could tip as miserably as this lot.
See the waitress around here?
King Crab nearly 10 years now, personally. Seen every character you can imagine, from bums to wizards, passed through these doors for a pint and a place to rest.
Were you here the night of Jake's murder?
I think I'm one of the last folks to hear him alive. That awful scream's been ringing in my ears ever since. And with the room where it all happened still under quarantine, we've a constant reminder of exactly what happened. Though that's the question, isn't it? What exactly did happen? We all thought it was Esmeralda who checked into that room, and the Duke that followed her in. I was washing up and nudging the last of the lushes out of the door when a cloaked woman rushed in right past me. I never got a good look at her, damn my eyes. But I figured the way she disappeared, that she was visiting one of the lodgers. Lucky for the perpetrators, I was rinsing bottles in the back when the terrible deed took place and saw nothing more. I'm not proud to say I ducked under the counter and damn well stayed there till I heard Ivad fling that door open. But I was paralyzed with fright.
Ah, hello. I suppose you're...
Alright. That's the wrong door.
What have we here? A source hunter, is it? Well, my day just became rather more stimulating. Oh, stand still then, if you don't mind. I want to take a good long look at the so-called savior of Sycee. Tall as an elf, strong as an orc, but your face, quite classical, isn't it? Statuesque, some might say. Yes, smooth and sturdy as marble, yet fine as a chisel's edge. And my word, what passion burns from your eyes. Please forgive my being forward, but I dare say, can it be? Well, you're exactly the person I've been searching for.
You're searching for someone?
That I have. For nearly a lifetime, it seems. Well, I'm sure you must know what I mean. Like existence itself lacked a significant component? Like if you could only fill a certain void, could connect with the right body, the right spirit. Together you could uncover new and thrilling vistas.
Is this like is she hitting on me?
I believe I have found that component, that body, that spirit within you, Source Hunter. Come, if ever we are to be united, we must truly entwine our fates. We must link our causes forevermore. Yes, you must join the Fabulous Five right away, as soon as time permits. Together, as a team, we'll explore the boundless realm before us. We'll uncover fate, inch by inch.
About the Fabulous Five.
You've sworn to share in our adversity and our bounty alike. Oh, you've made my heart soar. I can finally offer you our finest adventuring equipment at fantastic in-house rates. Come now, let's trade.
Okay. I don't need a bunch of hammers. One hammer is fine. I don't need a bunch of brooms or buckets or regular. These things are unique. We're not going to sell anything that's unique. Wait, these are already better. Okay. I'm a fan of this thing. I mean, alright, we have an equal trade here. What arrows do you have? Can she just borrow arrows from somebody? We don't need extra two-handed weapons laying around. This one's worse than... What do you potentially have that I want? Nothing really, actually. Just gold. Okay, so we share gold. That's good. Let's go ahead and do some more trading. Alright. Let's go ahead and balance everything. You have nothing I want. Let's get rid of this pan. Alright. Let's go ahead and wear this. Poison flask. We don't need a rain scroll. We're out of gold. This is bad. Thank you.
Well, you must be thrilled to find yourself a member of a team so widely renowned for its valor and skill. And you must be even more curious about how you yourself can suit up to face such enemies as a member of the Fabulous Five must face. Well, never fear. I have everything you need.
Don't you want to venture forth hand in hand like you said?
Darling, that was so long ago now. Who can remember who said what after all this time? What matters is the here and now. And in this moment, I promise to give you the best deals on adventuring equipment you'll find in all Sicil. Well, you are a member of the eminent Fabulous Five, after all.
I'll take my leave, thank you.
Tell me, Alistair, Have you ever had the fortune of challenging
Pointless chatter with strangers does so thrill me.
You know what? Go to hell.
They say he's privy to ancient and arcane secrets, the likes of which I
Let's go ahead and close the door. Oh, sorry. I didn't even realize you were in here.
Greetings, traveler. And may the Immaculate Conduit's myriad blessings comfort and cradle you. Tell me, have you yet heard the revelation?
What revelation do you mean?
You haven't heard? Oh, what fortune that I may share the goddess's salvation with one who has, as yet, been lost. Steel yourself, friend, for your mortal spirit could be forever transformed from this moment forth. The Conduit, our link to the goddess herself, has given us a special gift. And the gift is that by following her instructions and becoming initiated into the one way, we can each of us live on for a span greater than the number of stars that twinkle within the goddess's right eye.
What? Tell me more about this conduit.
She came from on high to we mortals and showed us the path to the goddess, where all living souls are naturally inclined. She showed us that injury and malady need not mark the end of life, but that through her methods we could ascend to greater life in service of the goddess. Ah, for this hallowed information, you must seek an immaculate chapel. Go north, friend, through the forest and into the town of Silverglen, where all may be revealed. There, among her followers and friends, dwells the goddess's ecstasy. Her one way. Go on the path to the righteous, my friend. Forget not that the
He says he's an immaculate. But I thought they'd been banished after the death of the Source King.
Immaculate. Haven't heard of their kind, but I don't like the sound of them.
This is a pretty long episode because... Greetings, friend.
Source Hunter. I don't mean to hinder your investigation, but I can't open this door for anyone who hasn't received Captain Aureus' explicit approval.
I've spoken to Azorius. Let me inside, please.
The friendliest bloke, the captain, is he? Well, your reward for getting your ear chewed off is a waltz through the town's finest magical murder scene. Enjoy.
Thanks, mate. Okay, so we just got another stone. What else is in this room? Let's go ahead and close this door. I'll be taking that, thanks, mate. Oh, we gotta go back towards the end of time, it looks like. We just found another stone.
Source Hunters, I've been eagerly expecting you. You found another star stone, haven't you? Go on, ask me how I know.
Alright, I'll bite. How can you tell we found another stone?
Ah, mere child's play when you know what to look for, and luckily, I do. Do you remember when you first arrived on this plane, when the dormant portal that led us to this hall sprang to life? It's happened again, my friend. Another portal has reignited. The end of time is growing by the stone. It's all connected somehow. You, this place, the void, the stones. Soon we'll have unraveled the whole truth. Oh, how I do love a good mystery.
What have you discovered through the new portal?
You don't imagine that I'd presume to explore it before you? No, that would be most unmannerly. And not to mention, well, No, I'm sure it's nothing. It's just that beyond the portal, I sense a presence that I can't quite account for. It is at once powerful and faint. Perhaps only a shadow, perhaps more. But this is only speculation, of course. Come, let me show you the way. Once you're through, you'll be able to report exactly what we're dealing with.
Alright. Is it over here? Where'd the guy go? Not this one.
I wonder who awaits you in the next chamber. I wonder what
To the Hall of Heroes. Okay.
What an impressive room.
So it is. A hall fit for kings.
Let's find this ancient diary. It's got to be over here then if I can't grab it. There it is. My friend and ally, the war has been won. Our victory is now inevitable, in fact, a certainty. One might say these last battles we wage are therefore pointless conflicts, but if the enemy won't relent, so be it. Truth be told, I relish in their stubbornness. Give me bloody combat. Give me the throw of the front line. I should be the first to break their ranks and the last to leave the battlefield, but you've been absent lately. It goes without saying that I prefer to see you by my side. We shall meet again at the funeral, I suppose. Until then, I bid you adieu. Okay. That's a lot of stuff over there. Anything over here of interest?
Wolgraff spotted something.
I did too. There's like too much stuff going on here. Are these things worth anything? Let's find out. Only valuable at the end of time. Perfect. Well then. But there is a Hammerman's axe. First off. My fellow general, in victory, life has taken an unreal turn. Everywhere I go, it seems I'm revered not unlike a god. People feel graced when I look them in the eye, considering it a blessing. Children try to touch my hand or sleeve, believing it'll bring them good luck. The absurdity of it all is staggering. Above all, I wish I had more time to myself, some much-needed peace of mind now that peace is finally in sight. Peace of mind. The closing of the coffin was seared into my sight. The dual thud of the stone on stone echoes still. You may relish in combat still, but I have lost all appetite for carnage.
Fortune!
There's nothing in this chest. Are we literally in space? Because it feels like we might literally be in space. Greetings, and you are?
Wouldn't you look fine with a strapping warrior at your side? Or is it mages you prefer? An eagle-eyed ranger? A stealthy pickpocket? Take your pick of my swords for hire.
I'm alright, my friend. Just give me the gold. Ancient letter. Esteemed generals, all Ribelon thanks you. All Ribelon is in your debt. Gods and kings bow before you both, and it is right and proper that they do so. Even though they had thought all was lost, that the world was to meet its end, but you turned the tide. Many have fallen, so very many, and I know you have suffered great personal loss as well. No generals that I sympathize deeply, so let us meet in the Hall of Heroes, both to celebrate and to remember, to honor the living and remember the dead. Signed, Henry, son of William, righteous king of Farrell. So it looks like we could hire NPC companions if we wanted to, but look at all that stuff. And there's an empty chest for some reason. Let's go back.
Well, I wonder who awaits you in the next chamber. I wonder what they'll say.
I was trying to tell you, but let's go back to the North Gate. And we're already at almost at an hour and a half, so we're going to go ahead and call this episode here. So I want to go ahead and thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe as usual. And we'll explore more in the next episode and try to pin down who killed the counts. Or we have to go visit the graveyard. In fact, let's go visit the graveyard. That'll be our last thing that we're going to do. Where we fell down.
Here lies Jacques, the oldest man in Syciel. Get off my grave, you jackanapes.
I like it. Hello, and you are?
Peace be with you, traveler. May your lost loved ones rest in peace.
Alright, I'll take my leave.
Here lies Nemris, master of philosophy. Here lies Jake. Please do not disturb.
May the Seven keep you.
Yeah, we gotta disturb this.
What trickery is this? That's not Jake.
It's a rotting sheep's corpse. It seems someone snatched Jake's body.
And that updates our log.
Rest in peace, darling.
So
Here lies Kavanagh. Will they have Syciel pie in the afterlife? Here lies James, as usual, the filthy fibber. Here lies David, who ran from the Reaper. You'll never catch me alive.
May the Seven keep you.
There's another shovel, in case we didn't have one, and then some mushrooms.
In memory of Loni, death lies on her like an untimely frost upon the sweetest flower of all the field.
Alright, we've discovered what we need to do from the graveyard.
Keep you.
Here lies Kimberly, finally.
That's good. Anyway, so next episode we'll do more.
Here lies Catherine. I know, I was great.
That's good. Because Catherine the Great.
Here lies Jared. Shall I come back as an enraged spirit or a lovable prankster ghost? Here lies Patrick. You can kill me, but you'll never kill the dancer inside me.
Okay.
Here lies Neil, killed in the line of duty. I want to go home. Here lies Judith, warrior princess. Here lies Gregory, whose wife told him so.
Nothing in the bone pile. Okay. We're going to do a little bit more investigating.
What's this? I found something.
What did you find? A moonstone. What is a moonstone? Decorative two-handed sword. This can go to Jace. That's a better robe. This can go to. This can also go to her. Alright. What is a moonstone? I'm gonna send all this unidentified stuff to her because she can identify all of it. Listen, that's a Walworth. Okay. That's fine. Sorry about that.
Oh, fancy that. A source hunter barging in when the lady of the house is fully dressed. Who could have fathomed such a thing?
Sorry about that. Let's not steal from the woman while she's here.
Welcome to the Town Hall of Cyseal. Mayor...
We completely bypassed him last time. We're not going to this time. I just thought we were going to play a little longer. Let's talk to the mayor.
Oh, it's you. Come closer then. Closer, huh? My ears aren't what they used to be. Nor my eyes, for that matter. Yes, hello, Source Hunter. Our city welcomes you. That depends. What kind of berries are you interested in, exactly? Ah, the library. Yes, yes, you must have a visit. It's the Gem of Cyseal. Would you like to have a look? I'll escort you upstairs myself.
Not now, thanks.
Yourself. Let me know if you change your mind. You won't regret it.
You've been named as a suspect in Jake's murder case.
Jake? Murdered, you say? Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Now I remember. Well, I'm sure the facts will prove me innocent. Keep investigating. You'll see for yourselves in time.
Tell me about the issues in Cyseal.
Oh, you mean Cyseal? Very difficult times indeed. As though the death of Jake, and by source magic no less, weren't enough. We're also facing all sorts of brutish intruders. The undead have overrun all but one northern trade route, while the orcs are making a habit of savaging our beaches. That's not to mention that at the top of this whole caboodle, there's rumors of some new religious sect or cult or some such, sticking its tendrils into the innocent, seven-fearing folks of Cyseal. And, while we're on the subject of troubles, I myself have a private matter I'd like to bring to your attention. It involves a magic relic I rather foolishly sought. A weapon called the Staff of Pergamon.
Ooh, tell me about this staff.
What of what now? Oh, you're speaking gibberish. Ah, you mean the Staff of Pergamon. Yes, yes. I was expecting a shipment of weapons, and among the cargo was this very powerful, very rare staff. I managed to place the order through means somewhat, atypical to a government official. Cecil proved an old fool, though. For the merchant slated to deliver it to me has just informed me that the damn thing has gone missing. I fear it may have fallen into the wrong hands, and I wonder if you could retrieve it for me.
What do you know about the staff itself?
The staff itself contains a shard of an ore, highly valued for its use in the weapons of war. I know use of the material to be forbidden, but I was desperate to do something to aid the townsfolk against the undead.
Tell me about the merchant.
Conrad, captain of the Tide Splitter, a merchant ship still docked at the Cyseal harbor. You can talk to him if you think it'd help, but I'd quite like to avoid getting the Legion involved, if you don't mind.
About Jake's murder.
Jake? Murdered? Oh, yes. Yes, now I recall. Indeed. I could hardly believe it myself. The Council and I have certainly had our differences over the years, but old squabbles evaporate under such circumstance. Most of the townsfolk are certain Jake's wife Esmeralda is responsible. In fact, the Legion have taken her into protective custody to keep her safe from the mob. As you can imagine, I've known Esmeralda for years. That business between her and the Duke of Ferrol was always a bit suggestive. But I've never had cause to suspect her of violence. Still, one never knows for sure. An all right bloke, apart from all this Esmeralda nonsense. The whole town knows the only goal of his business trips to Cyseal is to spend a night or two at the King Crab Inn with Mrs. Counselor. What? The undead? Yes, for the past 2 years those blasted skeletons have all but suffocated this city. With all but one trade route overrun, Cyseal's once torrential commerce has slowed to a pathetic trickle.
Can you tell me more about the Revlon sex?
Well, I do believe that's something your parents ought to have discussed with you long ago, Source Hunter. But I suppose if you really don't know, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least explain the basics. Ah, you see, when a lady and a fellow find each other rather nice, well, rather more than nice, they occasionally, well, they... Oh, this is nonsense. I'm the mayor for the 7th sake. I can't be bothered to chat all day about the birds and the bees when Sicil's under siege by orcs, undead, and cultists. That depends. Ah, marvelous.
Alright, that's the mayor.
What? Oh, yes. This library is the jewel in Sicil. My Victoria has every volume you could possibly... Yes. Victoria's come a long way. What? Oh...
Princess
Wargraf
Buttercup
gives you a
with
knowing
blushing
look.
bottom.
He seems to think the mayor is a few arrows short of a
Esmeralda
quiver.
does have a propensity for all
superior
things
than ever
naughty.
I
In the
saw.
name of Amun-Hor, I bid thee Tujta Geta Hal. Be welcome, human. My library is yours, as I hope your friendship is mine. I am Victoria, daughter of Mayor Cecil. Oh, I know what you're thinking. The likeness isn't exactly striking, is it? When I was very young, you see, I must have been cast out by my tribe, for I was found in a wicker basket floating past Sicil toward the sea. The fisherman who found me would have drowned me on the spot, for I am an orc after all. But praise be Amun-Hor, dear Cecil was among the gathered crowd, and he took pity on the exiled infant that chance had put in his way. He raised me like I was his own. This kindest of souls taught me the language of men, their customs and their letters. Thus, I became the city's librarian, a position I uphold with no small diligence and pride.
May I take books from the library?
You may. The wisdom I here hold is yours to peruse and even take with you. All I can ask is that you return the books you borrow so that others may enjoy them too. Volume 1, Volume 2, but where has the 3rd one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. That's enough of that now. Sigurd's beard was a find. Who placed this book here? A volume of poetry among novels? Urak! What mayhem.
That was a misclick on the other thing, but let's go downstairs. Alright, this right here is where they're keeping Esmeralda. In her shop. So we're going to go ahead and call this episode here. In between episodes, I'm going to go identify all the items, equip my characters, stuff like that. And then once we come back, if there's anything of really interesting note, I'll go ahead and let you know what happened. And you'll find me right here in this shop, ready to continue the investigation into the murder. So we'll be doing that next time. Thanks again for watching. I'm Red Hunter, and I'm out.